Rock stars, Eric Andreas, your Guitar Sage here. I deeply apologize for the technical difficulties. You know us, we're always trying to make things bigger and better, and it just happens sometimes. So, and Facebook doesn't like when we're going live there. So we may just have to bump Facebook altogether. More on that later. So we should be live on YouTube. So for those of you that are getting moved around, I apologize, but friends, we're going to do some really cool stuff today. Thursday's live broadcast. I hope you guys had a great 4th of July. I hope it was safe and you had a lot of fun. Today we're going to be looking at, if you weren't here for the live broadcast that we did last weekend, it was amazing. We introduced the 365 guitar plan, which is a product that I've been working on for years, wanting to come up with a daily regimen, step-by-step regimen for folks to be able to practice with 7 different key focuses. So every single day has a different key focus, and it progresses as the year goes on. We gave away over $4,000 worth of stuff, including a 1985 Candy Apple Red Fender Stratocaster, and a slew of other things, lifetime memberships to the Unstoppable Guitar System, and the whole enchilada. So today what I'm going to be doing is fielding your questions. We have a little bit of a different setup today because I'm going to be sharing my computer screen with you. So I'm actually going to be peering into my computer like old school to check your questions instead of looking at my big monitor here. So if it feels a little different vibe, that's what's going on, all right? So hang with us. We're presenting new stuff to you, and so with new stuff, of course, there can be new issues. So anyhow, so thank you so much for being here today. That's what we're going to be digging into. I have a couple things for you today. Number one, there's a PDF that if you did not join us on Saturday for this live broadcast, there is a PDF that you're going to see in the description of the video. If it's not there right now, it's going to be there in a minute, but it should be there right now. You could also go to YourGuitarSage.com/365. Okay, super easy. YourGuitarSage.com/365. Why do you want to do that? Well, for a lot of reasons. Number one, there should be a PDF there for you, and in fact, I tell you what, I'm just gonna go there with you right now, and we also have an insane, and when I say insane, it's an insane deal, that we've never done before. You'll see it right on the page here when you get to there. And let's see, can you get the PDF right there? No, you can't. That's okay, but we have a link for it also. So there's 2 things that you need to be aware of today. Number one, the PDF, because I'm going to be talking about the PDF, but really I'm going to be sharing the website with you today. I'm going to be showing you what's inside the website, and you may say to yourself, that's great, Eric, but I don't have the money for that. Guess what? Today's your lucky day, because this is the last day that we are offering 30 days unlimited access. By the way, this is all for $1. I'm getting ready to tell you, okay? So literally, if you have $1 to your name, you can have a massive amount of high quality guitar lessons delivered to you today. Here's how it goes. So literally for $1, this is the last day that we're doing it. We opened up the system on Saturday, I believe. 30 days unlimited access to the 365 guitar plan, which we literally just kicked off. We have thousands of folks in there already. And 30 days unlimited access to the Unstoppable Guitar System. So what I mean by unlimited is you have access to all the videos, everything that I've done that's in those 2 programs, okay? It's not limited. You get to do whatever you want. Get crazy. Run amok if you need, okay? If you must. So nearly over 600 jam tracks, I believe, at this point, and over 600 videos. If not, it's like teetering very close to those 2 numbers. So what are you waiting for? The 365 guitar plan, again, is basically a step-by-step process focusing on 7 different key areas, okay? So let's dig into this, okay? Because I really want to show you what this is all about. So I'm going to be sharing my screen here with you as well to show you like how this system works and what have you, so you can kind of get an idea as to what I'm doing here, okay? So a lot of folks asking about this, and they're like, you know, how is this going to help me? What's this really about? I know the 365 guitar plan sounds very intimidating. I don't know, maybe very mysterious. What does it have to do with the year, that sort of thing? And we're talking, I want to develop a system step by step that is going to develop all these different areas in your guitar playing that you're going to use no matter what genre, whether you were a beginner or a veteran, okay? So literally you could have played guitar for 40, 50 years and come into this program and it's still going to challenge you. Or you could be a complete newbie, it's still going to challenge you. Because the cool thing about this whole system is you go at your speed. I mean, there is a regimen, okay? But you go at your speed, and depending on how easy the exercise is for you, you either speed it up or slow it down. And that's what gauges, you know, whether you're coming in as a beginner or an advanced player. Okay, so you can see on the screen here, this is the front portal here, and you can see that I have this separated into 7 different days. Okay, we've got so many days here that we had to break this out into another dealio. Monday, Tuesday, all the way to Sunday. You know the days of the week. 7 different focuses, and this is how it's going to go. I'm going to tell you this from the top down. So on Mondays, what we're talking about is alternate picking. This is strict down up picking. Like so, like we were playing a scale, it would be down, up, 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 down, that sort of thing. No matter where you go, it's always a strict down, up picking pattern. That's called alternate picking. Now, let's go to Tuesday. So Tuesdays is all going to be about hammer-ons and pull-offs. Hammer-ons and pull-offs, especially if you're playing blues and rock and that sort of thing, will literally make up half of what you're doing, or almost half of what you're doing. When you're soloing, playing melodies and that sort of thing, it's a huge part of what you will be doing. So why not have that part developed, okay? A lot of folks I've seen, this has been over the years too, it's not just recently, but maybe more recently as the years have gone by. I think people are always looking for a hack or something like that. And they're always looking for a special scale or a special this or that or the other thing that's going to leapfrog them ahead of everybody else. Obviously, if it were that easy, then everybody would just find that same thing. We'd all leapfrog to the same place. So that doesn't really exist. There are methods and there are things like this, programs like this that are going to get you to someplace quicker because it's using methodology, it's using a system, a step-by-step system. But what I figured is this: there are things that we're using all the time, hammer-ons and pull-offs, you're going to be using all the time. It's a good idea to get good at those. So to develop your core bits and pieces as a guitar player so that whatever genre you choose to do, several genres, whatever, you're able to have those tools immediately and at your disposal. So that's what Tuesday is all about. Wednesday is all about economy picking. And you can think about economy picking as the antithesis of alternate picking. Alternate picking is just strict down up picking. What economy picking says is you're going to pick down or up depending on what string you're on and what string you're going to. So for instance, I'll give you an example. Normally, if we were picking, say, 3 notes per string, so there are scales that are 3 notes per string. You know, you have your regular major scale that most people know as this. Right? We got that sort of thing. But then we also have 3 notes per string, which would be like this: 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now, strict alternate picking would say down, up, 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 down, up. Economy picking says, well, now let's think about this for a moment. What string are you coming from? What string are you going to? And according to that answer is going to determine whether you're going to pick up or down. So we're not sticking to strict down up picking anymore. And you might say to yourself, well, why wouldn't we just keep it simple with alternate picking? I agree. It's a great question. And here's why. Because economy picking, when done correctly and with practice, can create immense speed. Immense speed that you would not be able to do normally with alternate picking. Here's why. Now, even though these are subtle movements, when you're talking about speeding things up and doing them for long musical passages, what happens is, I always compare it to, you know, in the NFL when these guys are running through the tires. If you just had 1 or 2 tires there, you could be running, booking it, and you can measure up the tires as you're getting ready to jump in them, right, your feet. And you can just do 1 or 2 very easily. But if you had 5 there, it'd be different. If you had 25, it'd be totally different, because now you're having to think 25 different steps in a very short amount of time. If one of those steps gets messed up, the whole enchilada gets messed up. You trip, you fall, you get a bloody nose, you're crying, people are making fun of you. It's not good, okay? You get the idea? So we want to make sure that we've got some sort of specific routine that we do, and that's where economy picking comes in. So, for instance, if we're picking strict alternate picking for the first 4 notes of this scale, we might go down, up, down, and the next one's going to be up, so we have to go past the 5th string and then pick up. So I'll do that again. So if we're on 1 string, it's not a big deal, right? Down, up, down. But now for this next down, or for the next up, I have to go past the 5th string, which is my next string to pick. I have to go past it if I want to pick up, because it's below the 6th string. So I couldn't pick up unless I went past it. So I'll exaggerate this movement. So down, up, down, go past the 5th string and come up. Now you may say to yourself, well, big deal, you're making a lot out of that, Eric. I'm not, because when you're trying to pick fast, this is a huge thing. So for me to do that quickly, I'm going to have to do a little slight extra movement, but it makes a big deal when we're playing scales. Okay, it's all about being very subtle. So economy picking would say down, up, down, and my next string is below me, so I'm just going to pick down. So down, or down, up, down, down. Okay, may seem very simple. Now this is day 1 of economy picking. Okay, on Wednesdays, that's what I would be showing you is that. But if we kept going with this idea, later on in the course, I'm introducing more notes to you so that the same motif, the same musical idea would go like this. So we'd go down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down. And so you'd be able to play something like that quicker than you would playing alternate picking style. Okay, so, and that's something that as you do more, basically what happens if you're doing it right in the beginning, it's kind of neck and neck. You'll be able to do alternate picking just as quickly as you're able to do economy picking. But what happens is as you start practicing it more and more, alternate picking, you can only get so fast. I mean, truly, you can only get so fast. I don't care how much you practice. There are tricks, okay? And if you're just doing everything alternate picking, then you can only get so fast. But if you start doing economy picking, this really starts getting exponential in your speed, whereas where alternate picking just kind of stays where it's at. So that's why economy picking is so important. And in this, you can see there on the site here, I've got the first 22 weeks have to do with like strict economy picking, and then I go into arpeggios. I have an actual arpeggio primer there, which teaches you all about arpeggios, that sort of thing. And then what's called angular picking, which is something that I picked up from Steve Vai years ago. Okay, so we're going to go over, I'm going to go over the basic bits and pieces here for you, and then we'll drill down further into the site so you can understand why this is so powerful and why literally for $1 you can have access to this and understand it and absolutely change your playing. It's like, what is your playing worth? Is it worth $1? I bet you it is. I bet you spent more than $1's worth of time watching me here, okay? Especially if you're at work. Okay, so here we are. On Thursdays, we're on stretch and reach. So obviously, I hear this all the time. Folks are saying, hey, Eric, my fingers are too small, or my hands are too small. My fingers are too short. They're too stubby. da-da-da-da. Any of these sound familiar to you? Well, it's not because I'm in your head. It's only because I've taught a few thousand lessons in my life, and I've run across all different types of players. And without a doubt, everybody thinks their hands are small. Even the guys with giant hands. They're like, well, I don't know. My hands are big, but I just can't see. My fingers are fat or whatever. It's always like some excuse. Not an excuse. We don't know. We don't know any better. And it's kind of like the difference between, I don't know, like juggling. Like if you can juggle, right? It has to do with dexterity. It has to do with timing. It has to do with balance, all these things. But if you're good at doing that, then great. But if you're not, you might think, well, my hands are messed up. It has nothing to do with your hands. It has to do with your technique and you learning how to do this. But we can't sometimes get beyond what we think something is. And not only do I show you how to get out of that, but I also have emails that I'm sending you throughout the whole program that are constantly encouraging you, getting you to understand a different type of mindset. It's changed my life. It's absolutely going to change your life. It's going to change your playing, okay? So that's Thursdays, and what we call stretch and reach, and understanding how to do some of these exercises. For instance, like this is one of the ones later on where I'm playing. Not a very pretty sounding exercise, but what I'm doing with my fingers here is I'm really learning how to use them in a stretched way. So we're not stretching the hand per se, but what we're doing is we're learning how to hold our hands so that we have more access to the fretboard. Cool? Okay, Fridays is all about modes and scales and sequences. So you can see here the first 30 weeks. If we were to click on that, it takes us to the first 30 weeks. And this is something, well, I won't drill down to that yet. I'll do that in a minute. So let me just keep going with the same vein that I am here. So Fridays is all about modes, scales, and sequences. And so this is more getting us out of the exercise routine. We're still using technique and dexterity to get to we're pressing ourselves, if you will, okay? We're trying ourselves, coming up with new things all the time to get our dexterity up to par, to push it to new boundaries. But what's different about Friday is I'm using modes and scales, so I'm kind of tricking you. You're doing exercises, but I'm tricking you into knowing your scales, knowing your modes in a way that's one little tidbit every single week, but we're doing that 52 times over the year. So at the end of those 52 lessons for that specific module, right, and 52 lessons for Thursday and 52 lessons for Wednesday and what have you, I'm kind of hitting you at all these different angles one time a week, and you're learning this stuff because you're not being overwhelmed with one particular subject. I'm telling you, this stuff works, okay? So with modes and scales and sequences, you're going to be learning dexterity and all sorts of bits and pieces, but in a real-world scenario where you're using scales, okay? Saturday is all about polyphony, okay? So what we mean by polyphony, poly meaning many, phony meaning voices, and so many voices. So what we're talking about here is we're talking about playing more than one note at a time. So you can see here week 1 is octaves, week 1 through 10 is octave, weeks 11 through 36 is double stops, and 37 through 52 is triads. Triads being the smallest part or the bass part of the chords that we listen to. Major, minor, diminished, augmented, those sorts. Yes, okay, so that's what Saturday's about. And Sunday is all about finger picking. So I've broken this down into 3 different modules. So essentially, you've got 7 different practice focuses that there's not a guitar player on earth in a specific genre that should not know these, okay? I specifically have done that. If you notice, there's no, two-hand tapping or, I don't know, gent guitar or something that's kind of out there. These are things that every guitar player is going to use. You got to know how to do these things. So you're further developing those core bits and pieces, okay? So now that you see kind of the hierarchy here of what we're doing, now check this out. So what you're going to notice is that with each beginning new module, there is a Monday, watch before beginnings Monday lesson. So basically it's an overview of what's happening on Mondays, okay? And then there is, for every day, there is an introduction to that style. Okay, so 2 different types of videos, but it's more like setting you up. Like, here it is. This is what we're going to be talking about on Mondays. Every Monday, this is what we're going to be talking about. And so get prepared. Okay. And then once you're off, you don't have to come into here anymore. You can just, right on the side here, you've got your navigation pane. So this is where we were at. Let me show you something else too. Let's say I watched this video, which I have because I created the video and that's me. So I would hit complete. Okay. Now, as I go on in the course here, so I go to the second one, you can see a little check mark right here. That means I've completed it. So it's super easy to navigate this. Okay, I can go through, and as I'm completing each one of these videos, I just mark complete, and then, I mean, the page needs to refresh, but you can see here, then I know exactly on Mondays where I'm at. So, you know, this was designed this whole thing specifically so that you could do this in a year, but then also, should you go on vacation, should you have the flu, or get sick or something like that, you can't play the guitar for a little bit, you can always come back to it and start right there. So you can start this at the first of the year, you can start this in the middle of the year, it doesn't matter. I wanted to make it to where any place you started, that's your first day, okay? And again, if you skip a week, I mean, we want it, there's enough pressure in the program and enough encouragement to keep you on task, okay? There is that. But it's not so much pressure that if you should have to take a week off or 2 weeks or a month off, that you wouldn't be able to come back to it where you're at, okay? And keep trucking along. So, so you can see there, so you can mark complete. You can see right here, everything is kept in order here. Week 2, it's 2 finger exercises, 2 4s and 1 3s. Those are the actual exercises. And you've got the video here, and you would play that, and it's going to give you the audio, and you're going to see the tablature right on the screen there. You also have PDF support. So literally, you would click on this right here, and you're going to have a PDF of the actual bit. Okay, so here I am. Here it is. Bam. So there is an actual PDF of it. You've got it in both standard musical notation and tablature, okay? If you don't know what tablature is and how to read it, it's okay. It takes about 5 minutes to learn, and I have a video for you for free because I'm literally for $1 giving you the whole enchilada. I'm giving you the 365 program and everything that's in the Unstoppable Guitar System. So, and one of the first few videos that are in the Unstoppable Guitar System teaches you how to read tablature. It's super easy though. Essentially, these are the strings, these are the frets. Since this is the highest line here, this one right here, that's your highest pitch string. It's your high E string. And the lowest string on the line here is your low E. So this is 3 4 1 3 2 4 1 3, that sort of thing. Then it's easy. You're just gonna go. Make sense? So, and obviously everybody's going to be at a different speed. I know this one. I've done it before a million times. So for you, you're going to do it at your own speed. That's what makes this program ingenious. I'm sorry if I can say so myself. Really, it's going to make it to where whether you're a newbie or an advanced player, you can just get in there and do what it is you need to do. And then I also have a GPX file, which a GPX file is a Guitar Pro file, and here you go. It opens up. If you have Guitar Pro or you have some other sort of program that will play tablature, like Tux Guitar or something like that, then there you go. You're able to watch it really easily, and you can play it. So. And you're not going to hear it right now just because of our setup right now. But you can see it's playing, and we could put this in different keys if we wanted to. I'd advise you not to, but you can see right where you're at. You can listen to it. You can slow it down, the whole 9 yards. So basically, it's an interactive tablature, okay? And so I've included that with every single exercise. I'm telling you, my friends, there's a lot of hard work, a lot of energy that was put into this. So not only do you have? It's over 365 exercises. It's maybe like 366 or 368. I continued on, and there's other sections in here as well that are more like primers, like the arpeggio primer. You know, where's that arpeggio primer? So there's other bits and pieces that are there to support you and to help you. But with each week, you've got 52 exercises, and in each exercise, you have a video that's going to play the tablature for you, that sort of thing. And then you're going to have your PDF support and your GPX file, which is your guitar profile. And then what you would do is the following day, you're going to go to your Tuesday, and after you've watched your intro videos, then you're going to go to week 1. So literally the first day, when you get into the program today, what you're going to do is you're literally going to go to, what's today? Thursday. You're going to start on Thursday, okay? You're going to go straight to Thursday, and you're going to watch, you're going to go to week 1, you're going to watch these first 2 videos, and then you're going to do week 1, exercise 1. And then next week, you'll go to exercise 2. Literally, you're only going to have 1 exercise that you're going to do each day. If you miss it, just mark it, just don't mark it as complete, and the following day, you could do 2 of them if you wanted, you know? All right, so that's what we're doing there. So we'll go here to Tuesday now, okay? Now, something else I want to show you is, well, you can see we got folks right here already commenting. So we got folks in the program and folks that are loving this and saying, and this is great too, because remember, it's a community. It's not just you alone. You've got a community of folks. My guess would be, this is how I became as a teacher on YouTube, is that I saw the same problems over and over and over and over again. So if I was teaching up to 70 lessons a week back in the day, and I would see the same questions coming up over and over and over again, I thought either my little portion of the United States here, these kids are having these problems, and adults, or this is a good indication of what the world is having an issue with, so why not make a video for that so folks can learn? And that's how I got started on YouTube. I was just like, I'm just going to post a video for this. I had no intentions on teaching on YouTube other than just like putting up a video here or there. And then maybe somebody would want to learn a Taylor Swift song, and it would be the new Taylor Swift song on the radio, and 20 folks would bring that song in that week, and I'd be like, I guess this is a popular song, and then I'd make a video for it, post it to YouTube, and voila, I am a YouTuber, right? We're all YouTubers, but I was one who was actually getting some views and stuff, and that was pretty cool. And I had enough people saying, Eric, I love this. I love your teaching method. Do you have a book? And I'm like, no, I don't. I just do this stuff for free. And then enough people were saying, please write a book, please create a course, et cetera, and that's when I started doing that. So, this is from YouTube right here, essentially. So, and I got lost in the bit there, what I was talking about. Oh, yes. So, you go to a video and you see the folks, here saying Pinky Challenge, right? You've got folks that are being challenged by this stuff, right? Because, and someone's saying here, you need a P or an H for the tablature. It's because they hadn't looked at the tablature video yet, because in fact it does have that, and it will tell you, on all the tablature you're going to see whether it's a hammer on, it's a pull off. I have a whole structure for you in determining which finger should go where, and basically that's if it's the 1st fret, you should use the 1st finger. If it's the 4th fret, you should use the 4th finger, okay? And we go through these, we try to go through these daily, go through the questions and answer them, so you've got that daily support. You've got the whole enchilada here. It's like impossible to mess up, okay? So you can leave your comments in here, and basically you're just going to proceed through the program, okay? So I think I've shown you enough of that. I'm trying to think if there's anything else here I need to show you. If there is, I'm sure you're going to let me know, all right? So I want to get to some questions about this, about anything on guitar, but specifically, if you can curtail the lesson, or curtail the question towards what we're talking about today, that would be very helpful, especially for everybody that's watching. And let me remind you very quickly that this is the last day that we're doing this, and we've never done this before. We've never offered this product before. This is a brand new product. Right now, today, by following the link that's in the description of the video, or right now, just go open up another tab, YourGuitarSage.com/365 for 365 days of the year, 365. And today is the last day that we're offering this. Basically, what you're going to get is you're going to get 30 days of unlimited access to the entire 365 guitar plan and 30 days unlimited access to the Unstoppable Guitar System. All right, so we're talking in the area of 1,000 videos and over 600 jam tracks. Ooh, wow, yes, indeed, that's a lot of stuff. Okay, and you don't have to be overwhelmed with it, because basically this is just so you can get an understanding. Get in there, learn some stuff. I mean, just go nuts for a month if that's all you want to do. There's no contracts. You get out whenever you want, and it literally costs $1. It's unlimited access. Okay, so if you want to take advantage of it, today's the last day. If you're like, I don't have $1 today, then you know, have it next week or whatever, then it won't be available next week. This is literally the last day. So if you have $1 and you are serious about playing guitar, look, there's a lot of folks out there that aren't serious about playing guitar, and that's totally fine. The world needs mediocre guitar players to sit around the campfire or whatever. I mean, we prefer great guitar players, but if you're mediocre and you're just kind of noodling away at some chords and stuff, that's totally fine. Everybody's in a different place in life. Some people have 10 kids, some people have 4 jobs, and getting guitar time is difficult. So we need all different types of guitar players. But if you're one of those players where you know that you want to improve, this is the universe calling you, saying, yeah, for $1 you get it all. Okay, so there you go. All right, let's get into some questions, shall we? And I'm gonna pop over to YouTube where the chat is going bonkers. And I'm going to try to make this a little bit bigger for me. Can I do that? I don't know if I can. I might have to move. I might have to lean over here. I'm sorry. It's just, they're just difficult to see. Okay, so lots and lots and lots of questions on YouTube. So Ben Fitzpatrick asked asked the question: Do the 30 free sessions cost anything? I'm going to repeat it again. Do the 30 free sessions cost anything? And the answer to it, Ben, is no. They don't cost a darn thing. You don't have to pay a penny. They are absolutely free. And not only that, you can get into that whenever you want. YourGuitarSage.com/30. For those that are like, what kind of dollar are you talking about, Eric? I'm talking about $1, literally $1, okay? And the reason being is we have to give you access to the course. That's why we're asking for $1, because the way our system works is, and it's back-end stuff that you don't want to be bothered with, but we can't do that for free. The free thing we can do for free, but in this case, it doesn't matter. It's $1, okay? I could go into all the details as to why, but it's just going to confuse you, okay? Are these still $1 or free? Okay, so here it is. Here the deal is. If you want the top 30 lessons that I teach all my students in Nashville, that's the free one. And I offer that all the time. If I were you, I wouldn't even worry about that today, because I offer that all the time. You can get that whenever you want, and it's free. But what I'm telling you today is, this is the last day. If you want the whole enchilada for 30 days, everything pretty much that I've offered, it's $1. YourGuitarSage.com/365. In fact, if someone would be a darling and put that link in the chat, that would be very helpful. And then folks can just click on it, and I think you can go straight to it from the chat. But either way, you guys know how to type. Go to a new tab, type in YourGuitarSage.com/365, and take advantage of that today. Because I'm not joking, it's gone after today. We don't keep stuff like that open because it's crazy. We're like giving away the farm. And if you hadn't noticed already, This is what I do for a living. This is why I'm able to produce so much content for you. This is why I'm able to make these Van Halen videos the way they are. That's why I'm able to constantly be writing and creating, is because I'm not at another job working, okay? And that's the way time works. Most of you know that. Okay, so, and I'm sorry that I'm missing some of these questions. And by the way, I'm looking for only those that have question marks at the end, because there's so many things here that it's just very difficult to see it that quickly. So Luke is saying, been self-taught for 1.5 years, and I'm okay at the guitar. How does an intermediate player write a solo? Luke. So Luke, inside of, so, you know, if it sounds like I'm trying to get you into this program, number one, I am, but it's not for the money. Obviously, it's $1. I'm not like breaking the bank over this, right? And the reason I'm telling you this, though, is this is where the answers are. And I could give you a flippant answer and say, well, you just, man, you listen to some guitar players and you just feel it, man. Or I could say, here's the step-by-step system so that you can actually learn to solo, okay? The way that I did, teaching myself, but then I broke it down into a method. So I have 2 specific areas inside of the Unstoppable Guitar System that go into that part, okay? They go into some real specific bits and pieces. In fact, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go into the Unstoppable Guitar System here, and I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about, okay? So inside the Unstoppable Guitar System now, not inside 365. Chris, if you can put that on the screen, I'll show them inside of the advanced section here. So let's see. We've got, actually I have this in the intermediate section. So this is inside the 365 program. This is also what you will be getting today for $1. $1. $1. This is the, I'll just give you a real brief overview of this. This is the Unstoppable Guitar System. You can see at the top there's a whole welcome bit. You'll want to go there first. Updates is where I constantly upload new videos, typically over an hour a month. Sometimes we may skip a month and then put 2 hours in, 3 hours, etc., because it's a bigger portion, a bigger program. But you can see it's broken down to the beginner section, intermediate, intermediate plus, advanced, advanced plus, and then there's other bits and pieces like resources, jam tracks, live web lessons, which we're doing twice a month now. By the way, with you being privy to the Unstoppable Guitar System for 30 days, you literally will have access to, and we're doing this on, I think, this Monday coming up. So what's today, Thursday? So literally in 4 or 5 days from now, if you want a lesson with me like this, except without as many people here, where it's a more intimate fashion and you're able to get your questions answered, boom, then join, because we're going to do 2 live sessions this Monday coming up, one at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time and one at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. We're doing this because we've got so many folks around the world. We want to have some different time zones, and a lot of folks are getting into the system, and we want to make sure that we keep the classes small so that you get your questions answered. So as we're growing, obviously I'm going to be doing this more, so more live and more live all. So that's where you can find the past live broadcasts, where you can find the resources, jam tracks, all that good stuff. Okay, so back to the question, how does an intermediate learn how to solo? So I have 2 sections specifically, one called Minimalistic Blues Playing, okay, and another one that's called Call and Response, and it's somewhere in here. We just moved everything around, but here's Minimalistic Blues. So what Minimalistic Blues says is, and basically you can see here's the series right on the left here. And basically what this does is it teaches you to instead of going, okay, well, we've got the scale here. You know, we've got all these different forms. We got all these different forms. Well, they seem so mechanical. How do I make this come to life? And so in that case, you need to know like Minimalistic Blues and Call and Response, where basically I'm teaching you just small sections of the guitar neck. For instance, let's say I'm going to put this track on for just a minute. This is in D minor. So if I have this track going in D minor, what I do is I'll show you, okay, you can use the pentatonic scale over the top of this, or the blues scale. In this case, I'm going to be using the D blues scale. And so I'll teach you just to use one section of the neck so you're not overwhelmed by 10 million notes. You're just looking at 4 notes. So for instance, here I am in the key of D minor. So if I'm going... So, like, that's an example now, like, with the very exception of the very last thing that I did there. I'm just using 4 frets. Okay, and that's what I call minimalistic blues playing. If you understand that you don't have to have 10 million notes to sound intelligent and sound good, you just have those 4 notes and you get to learn those 4 notes. Listen, I got a less than a 3-year-old kid, okay, who has never read a book yet. Now, by the way, this is all of us, right? But the kid knows tons of words, seemingly. He knows the important words like poo-poo and like hungry and hurt and these sorts of things, right? Kid goes on in life and does great. Now, obviously, he's going to learn more as he goes on, but that's a perfect example of you only need, and this is something called Pareto's rule, right? Those of you that know it, for 80% of the tasks that need to be done, you only need to typically know 20% of the material. So on guitar, this is why it's so important to understand your basics first, right? That's why the free lessons, I give that out to folks, because even if you never buy something from me, I want the world to play guitar. I want them to learn. I want them to go on and sing songs and make happiness and create joy and kindness and the rest, all the rest, right? So if you just have those 3 lessons, that's very, 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 very helpful, okay? It's kind of Pareto's rule there. It's like you learn 80% of what you need to know by only focusing on 20% of material. Essentially, that's what Pareto's rule says. So this would be an example here, is that if you understand that one little section of the neck and you understand how to make that happen, then everything else starts falling into place, especially when I start associating this part of a scale is the same as this part of the scale. So for instance, if I go... and then I come here and I go... or I go... well, I just played 3 different places on the neck, but it's all the same notes, okay? And if you don't know that little trick, then you might say, well, how did you do that? You're magical. I'm not magical. I can tell you in the beginning, I really sucked at guitar, because guess what? Everybody sucks at guitar in the beginning. Everybody does. I mean, why wouldn't you? Why would you be good in the beginning? Right? No one is. But for some reason, you know, because we're not lifting weights or something, it's just fingers on a fretboard, people think, well, I can do that, and then they can't, and then they get frustrated, and then they come to me, okay, or whoever else who's going to teach them, which is good. You know, you got to have some tricks, okay? So anyhow, all right, so I'm going back to these questions here, and that's really what you want to look at, is you want to look at, Luke, you want to look at that section of the program. Okay. Okay. Mark is saying, if you pay $199 today, you get all of it for life. Yes, that is true. And that's a special that's only going on today. Normally, I mean, for years, we've literally, just for the Unstoppable Guitar System, have charged $400, and we have thousands of folks in that program. So it's no joke. It's like, and we have a 30-day, no questions asked guarantee. So these aren't folks that are being tricked. These are folks that are like, this is worth it. And in fact, for those folks that are in the program right now, if you're watching in the chat, if you want to give a shout out to UGS so folks know that this is legit, I'd appreciate that. But you don't have to, you know, you just do your thing. But nonetheless, yes, but we have other offers as well for you today, okay? Okay, Luke is saying, any $300 guitar suggestions? Yes, Luke. I have an online store, which is basically just like, here, you can go buy this. It's not, I'm not buying it. I mean, it's not my store per se, it's my kit store. And so you're going to Amazon or wherever. And that's on the screen there, kit.com/YourGuitarSage. If you go there, I've got several. But if you can get a used Epiphone Master Build, sometimes you can find them around the $300 range. That's a fantastic guitar. I like buying used guitars. I don't like buying new guitars because you're buying more price. That's all you're doing. And you're buying it without scratches. You're going to put scratches in and get frustrated. I prefer to buy a pre-scratched guitar where I don't get frustrated and I get it a lot cheaper. And it typically has more love built into it. Okay? Okay. Great, great. Hendrix was born with a guitar in his little fist. That's right. Okay. Juan is saying, question, are you going to teach music theory? Yes, Juan, I love music theory. I try to trick my students into learning music theory because they think it's something that it's not, when in fact they already know some music theory. It's like impossible to not know music theory. If you can add, you know music theory. If you can count 1 through 7, you know some already. So guess what? You're part of the club already. So you might as well jump in all the way because the water's great, okay? So I teach theory all the time on YouTube, on Facebook, and inside the course. There is, okay, an immense amount of theory. In fact, let's go back to the website camp, shall we? So here you're going to notice, okay, let me show you this. So there's lots of theory inside the program. So basically, when you get in here today, you're going to start at the beginner section. Even if you've been playing for 30 years, I really want you to start at the beginner section, okay? At least go through them really fast, okay? Because I guarantee you're leaving stuff on the table. I can't tell you how many folks have been playing. Some folks have been playing longer than I have, and they go into the program and they're like, wow, I had no idea. It's because guitar is one of those things that we just start doing. It's like doodling on a piece of paper, right? It's like, who's been to school to doodle, right? Who's been to school to noodle, right? You don't, you just do it. So with that being said, there's some stuff that people leave on the table, and this whole beginner section is step by step so that you understand, you have a good basis to base everything else off of. Then when we go into the intermediate section, you can break it down. You'd be like, man, I really want to work on my technique right now, or I really want to work on my theory, or chords, or scales. Now, obviously, chords and scales, that has to do with theory too, but let's just drill down to theory for a minute. And you're going to see there's all sorts of bits in here, sharps and flats as revealed by the piano, because if you understand things from different perspectives, it absolutely blows your mind. So even though we're not playing piano, if you can see it on the piano, you'll go, are you kidding me? Is it that easy? And that's kind of how I live my life. I don't like making things hard. Why would I do that? And then harmony is revealed by the piano. How to keep everything in the feel of G and C, stationary springboards, movable springboards, magic Z, lightning bolt pattern. There's some of these, obviously, you're not going to know what we're talking about, but there's so much in here for you to learn. So many different ways that you can go. Nashville number system, relative major and minor. Yeah, so sometimes I'm doing whiteboard stuff. Sometimes the guitar is not in my hands. So lots and lots and lots of stuff for you. Downloads all the time. If you ever need to get in touch with support, you can do it right there. And if you're ever looking for something, you can go right here to the upper left-hand corner, and you can be like, Eric, I really want to learn about blues. You do that, bingo bango, you're going to get all sorts of bits about blues. And this is just, keep going and going and going and going, okay? So anything that you want to do here, chances are I've got the video for it. So you say chords, I really want to know something about chords. Now you could just do that, and just keep going and going and going, searching for what you're searching for. Or you could go to the intermediate section and go straight to chords, where I have things stacked in a proper manner, in a way that's going to make a lot of sense for you, okay? Same thing with advanced plus. Is there any of that? Chord noodling. You've got all sorts of bits in here, okay? So this is a further drill down. So the cage system, I think I just saw that on something, but then I have a whole section on just the caged system. Bam, right? Advanced, here you go, theory. So there you go. If that makes sense, you've got a whole slew of things to go with there, okay? All right, so let's jump back over to some questions now. And Juan bought the guitar plan. Nice, great job, Juan. Let me know when you're in there. Say, give me a what up, okay? What? I can count to 7. You tricked me into being a guitar hero. Damn you, Eric. Yeah, seriously, like, music theory, if it's taught correctly, is not difficult. It's just not. It doesn't have to be, okay? It can be very easy. All right, I've been doing the spider exercises. It takes me more than 1 day to get the muscle memory and speed. How is doing a different exercise every day better? Brian, here's the deal. When the way that I have this program set up is this. Number one, if you spend 5 minutes on it, you're going to get 5 minutes result out of it. If you spend 5 hours, you're going to get 5 hours of result out of it. So I don't know how long you're spending with these exercises. But if you're new to the guitar, then yeah, those spider exercises, which are stretch and reach and things that are going to challenge your hands, they're going to be more difficult. But this is the glorious thing about this program, is this. You can literally, I mean, I came up with these exercises years ago, right? And I'm going through the program again. Now that everything's set up and what have you, I'm going through the program. I'm clicking the complete again now, complete this video, etc. Because it's a great system for constantly challenging your hands in new ways. So the deal is, there's two types of practice, right? There's what we call rehearsal type practice, or there's woodshedding, okay? You can call them different things, but essentially there's hyper focus on a particular thing, and then there's a kind of rehearsal type of practice, which is like a dress rehearsal, where you're like, man, I'm practiced all that I can. I need to just, whatever's in me comes out now, and if I mess up, I mess up. I can't hyper focus and start working. I'm on stage now. So there's two different types of thinking. What the 365 does is it does kind of a little bit of both. You're hyper-focusing on a specific day, but in the dress rehearsal way, it's like once that day is passed, you're gone, move on. And what this does is it teaches you to get hyper-focused on something. It teaches you to be in the moment, drilling down on that one specific exercise. If you can't complete that exercise that day, that is okay. Nothing's going to break. The system's going to keep going. You're going to be fine. If you want to go to week 52 on all the exercises, but on Mondays, you just, for whatever reason, can't get your alternate picking down, you're just on number one, you can do that. But I guarantee you that when you go to the second week of alternate picking, it's going to increase a little. Now, some of them are just going to vary. So, for instance, for the first few weeks of alternate picking on Mondays, it's just going to vary. So, it's not necessarily increasing in complexity, although the course in general increases in complexity. So, don't feel bad if you're doing an exercise and you can't figure it out that week. And two, I would have to question, what do you mean by like figure it out or master it, or I forgot what word you used, but like what do you mean by that? Because I don't know about you, but I've done all these exercises hundreds of times and I still don't have them down. Ne'er will I ever have them down, okay? And I talk about the psychology of that in these emails that I send out, because that's the great thing about guitar. The goalpost is constantly moving. If you're working out, the goalpost is constantly moving. I don't know of any musician ever in the history of ever that I've heard in an interview, had an interview with, talked to them, anything else, where they're like, oh yeah, I'm better than I've ever wanted to be, really, quite honestly. I don't practice that much, or I practice a lot, but I'm definitely better than I want to be. Every musician is striving for yet another goal. So welcome to that type of feeling, okay? You're always going to be feeling that, and that's okay, because when you're being challenged and you're pushing through that challenge, you're getting better. It's an absolute impossibility for your brain and your fingers to not get better if they're being challenged and you're pushing through, okay? What I mean by pushing through is not mastering that. It just means being frustrated and going, or being challenged, I should say. Frustration, we don't really want to be frustrated, but being challenged and still doing the exercise anyhow, right? They say that courage is not having no fear. Courage is, in the face of fear, stepping up. Does that make sense? That's a huge difference. Having no fear is entirely different than having fear and stepping up anyhow. I mean, I don't know about you, but if saving someone's life or something like that, in your own life is at risk, that's scary. Why would you? What would it matter if you didn't have any fear, right? If you didn't have any challenge. It's when you have that challenge and you still do the right thing. Same thing with playing guitar. It's like, would it make any sense if I was giving you exercises that you were just like, wow, this is easy, I'm just rocking and rolling and whatnot, you know? That isn't going to challenge you. You're not going to get better, okay? You have to be challenged. This is at the gym. This is at anything, okay? Always. You got to be challenging yourself. Okay, great. So is learning online just as effective as learning one-on-one? Lucas is saying. Lucas, it's different. It can be, and in fact, in some ways, I like learning online better. Now, I do have a video for this on YouTube that went up recently, and it was something like, you don't need a guitar teacher. Was that what it was? You don't need guitar lessons, or you don't need a guitar teacher, or something like that. You can look in my list of videos there. It's one that went up within the month here. But here's the deal. How can I present this? So you don't need to read. You don't need to go to school. You don't need to take care of your body. You don't need to do anything. But the more you do these things, the more you practice good habits, the better you're going to be. Okay, that's the general view, right? Now, we got to learn, right? We got to learn. We got to get better at things. Sorry, I'm not looking at I'm getting messages here. I need to shut that off. So you get better at things as you learn, right? When it comes to a guitar teacher, the great thing about a guitar teacher is if it's a great guitar teacher who loves to teach. Now, this is where, and I talk about this in that video, you drill it down, it's like to find those unicorns where it's a great teacher, they're a great player, they know how to teach, they want to teach. I love teaching. If you find all that in somebody, and you can afford it, and you can go and sit with them and do all the rest, then that's great, because you can ask immediately, well, what about this blank? And even though all those things might line up, it's still expensive. If you have unlimited income, then that's not a problem. Now just meet with a guitar instructor and you can just go in the direction, weave through the direction you want. The other way, which technology, the internet, and life has allowed us to do, is to create courses step by step. The reason I've created a step-by-step course is because I've taught thousands of students. I've taught for over 30 years. So I know that before the F chord, we got to learn the C chord. Before the C chord, we got to learn the E minor chord. And there's a real specific system. It's not like one could quantify that. We're not talking math, but we're talking about if 1,000 people that I've taught have a hard time with the F chord, but not as much with the C chord, and definitely not with the E minor chord, then one would go, you learn the E minor first, then the C, then the F. That's just giving you an example. So having a step-by-step program is mega cheap, because if you visit me here in Nashville, I just gave a guitar lesson to a guy Gary, who came in. It was $150 was the guitar lesson. One guitar lesson, okay? So, I mean, the whole course right now on special is, we're blowing it out right now for just a little bit more than that for 600 lessons, not including 365 and all the jam tracks and what have you. So you can see real quickly where one-on-one lessons gets expensive, online does not. The other great thing about online, if you have this variable, is these live interactive lessons where you can ask a question, get it answered in real time. Then you're kind of meshing the two, okay? But if you have the money and you can find a unicorn who loves to teach and is a great player and has a great method, then perfect, do that, okay? Or if you can do both, that's good too, Okay. Okay, how to choose a guitar for a guy who never touched one before, Tato is saying. Tato, a guitar, especially in the beginning, is not going to make that much of a difference to you because you're getting used to the guitar. So check out my link, kit.com/YourGuitarSage. Any one of those guitars that I've put up there have specifically gone through. Some of them I've reviewed already, and that will give you an idea as to which ones you could do. Chris, would you put that on the screen? kit.com/YourGuitarSage. That's like all the gear that that I have put up, okay, that I've either reviewed or said, hey, this is something I endorse, okay, in some way or another. Either I own it, did a review for it, what have you. So don't get lost in the minutia, in the detail of which guitar should I get, because I want to make sure that I get the right guitar. When you're a beginner, it almost doesn't matter. You just get a guitar, get in there, and start going. Because if you sit there and you hyper focus on all these specific little details, you're never going to do it. Go forth and just do it, okay? In what aspect is the complete guitar system different from the 365? Jason, if you're talking about the complete guitar system, the one that we have on Udemy, then it's absolutely just entirely different. What the complete guitar system does, and the complete guitar system is a fraction of what I'm offering today. The Unstoppable Guitar System is the much, much, much bigger set. In fact, it's the full set of every video that I've done that's not on YouTube, that's like the Inner Sanctum HD, HD, it's all in HD, but like 4K, killer stuff that I've provided for those folks that really want to learn, okay? That's what that's all about. 365 is in addition to that. And the 365 program is essentially step-by-step program, 7 different focus areas, broken out into each day of the week, and then I drill down 52 weeks of slowly turning up the heat in those specific areas. Finger picking, alternate picking, economy picking, scales, modes, sequences, those sorts of things, okay? At the first part of the video here, I talked about that in more detail. But here's the deal. Listen, anybody who's like, well, I don't know, what's the difference? What should I do? I don't know if I should do it. It's $1. It is $1. It's $1. What I'm telling you is, if you're wondering what the difference is, if you're wondering should you have it, dude, it's $1. I can't make it any cheaper than that. It's $1. And what you can do is, there's no contracts, there's no, I mean, you're not bound by anything. So if within 30 days you're like, dude, I don't want to do this anymore, well, at any point you can cancel it. But what I'm saying is, if you don't want to have it anymore after that, if you don't want to get a subscription, if you don't want to buy the program, you don't have to. Just don't do it. Just say, I want out. Let me out of here. And that's it. You spent $1, and I've literally given you nearly 1,000 videos that aren't available on the internet in any other way. They're only in the courses. Does that make sense? Hopefully. Okay. Okay. What is 365? Where to start? Okay, so here's the deal. Here's the link. Are you ready? YourGuitarSage.com/365. You'll also find that link inside of the description of the YouTube video. Okay, so go right now to the description of the YouTube video, click on it. Friends, this is literally going away today. Okay, it's not going to be available anytime for, we may do it again sometime, but this is the only, I can tell you this, I've been teaching online since 2007. We've never done this before. So that shows you how infrequent that happens, okay? We're offering both programs for $1, 30 days, unlimited access. Do it. Click on the link, get in there, and after today, it's gone. Why? Because we get, look, when we do these sorts of things, people say, well, why wouldn't you just keep the gate open all the time and let everybody in? Because we get such an influx of people into the program on these things that we don't want to just be like, everybody just get in here, and then when I'm not able to answer questions, we're not able to support people, okay? So we have to open the gate up, let people in, work with them, get them massaged into the program, help them. And then once they're feeling good and confident and they're on their way, then we open up the gate again. We let other folks in again. But that's the only way to do it. Otherwise, we're not serving you. Then we got tens of thousands of people in, and no one is getting attention, right? So I don't like to do that. I wouldn't have the customers and the fan base that I have if I did that. I like to make sure that everybody's taken care of and everybody's happy. Otherwise, you get to have a business and a product for like a week or a year until people say you suck, and then you're not available anymore. I don't like that. I want to be around for a long time. I'd like to be the guy I'd like to be the Esteban of YouTube. Or no, I don't want to be Esteban. But you get the idea, okay? I really want to learn but don't want to be overwhelmed. Exactly, Rod. That's why it's a step-by-step process. And here's the deal. If you're overwhelmed, just get the heck out of there quick. And you've only spent $1 is how it works, okay? So you're not going to be overwhelmed because it's a day-by-day process. Anybody who can't dedicate 5 minutes a day to the guitar is not going to see a lot of progress. So, I mean, if you go in there for 5-10 minutes a day and you just do those exercises, Rod, you're going to be fine, okay? Okay, there's the link. By the way, if you're in the chat right now, click on that link. It is a hyperlink, and you should be able to get to where you need to go for the offer, okay? Do I play any other instruments? I do. When you play guitar, you can play a lot of things. So I play bass, I play ukulele, I play a little bit of banjo, but I haven't picked up the banjo in a while, so it's like I could do it. I could put something down in the studio, in my studio, not as a studio player where I'm expected to perform immediately. That's not going to happen. But you get what I'm saying, okay? Showman Blues is saying, so where is the buck deal? It's in the description of the video. There's a link. Click on that link. It says YourGuitarSage.com/365, or better yet, Showman, two comments below what you just said is the link. That's the buck deal. You click on that, it's literally $1. Okay? Okay, Celeste is saying my G string gets out of tune faster than the others. Go ahead, laugh. The G string gets out of tune faster than others. Should I change the strings, or is it just being a G string? Celeste, chances are it's just being a G string. The G and the B on most guitars has issues when it comes to tuning. Now here's the deal, and I cover this in detail inside of the maintenance part and in the ultimate pursuit of tone sections inside the Unstoppable Guitar System, which you're getting up for $1 today. Woohoo! But one of the things I talk about is when I'm talking with my guitar tech, Greg Ellis, who sets all my guitars up, helps me buy my guitars, my amps, everything, all things technical on the guitar, he helps me out with. And I brought him in for that portion of the program. But what happens is the nut oftentimes is not cut right. And if you take that to a guitar luthier, what they can do is they can cut the nut just a little bit or go in there and file it in such a way to where it doesn't hang up anymore. You can also use something called Big Bends, B-I-G, separate word Bends, B-E-N-D-S, nut sauce. Yes, I said nut sauce. Big Ben's nut sauce, and it's like basically this like graphite / Vaseline stuff that you put here. Lubricates the string inside the groove. Jeez, you guys are, come on, clean it up. And it makes things more slick, makes them more nice. So you'll want to make sure that you get something like that, as well as making sure that the nut is cut correctly. Okay, take that to a guitar luthier. Don't do it yourself. That would be bad, okay? Okay. Can I use YouTube, or is this the wrong chat? Jeff, today this is the right chat. So oftentimes when we do our really big chats, we bring everybody to the website because that's where you can find the deal and everything else, right? So, but today you can use this chat. That's totally fine. I don't even know if we're opened up on that other chat. We might be. I hope not. If we are, Chris, let me know so I can go there. We're not? Okay, thank you. All right, I wanted to make sure that I wasn't leaving all those folks behind. So you're in the right place, Jeff. 5 to 10 minutes. Deal. I'll give it at least 30 minutes, bro. Good, Rod. Yeah, indeed. 5 to 10 minutes. That's why I say 5 to 10 minutes, because just like anything is better than nothing. I want to get you started. And man, here's the deal. Throughout this whole process too, we as beings get so stuck in mental blocks. We think we're not able to do things. We consider ourselves to be limited. We use all these excuses. My hands are too small. My fingers are too fat. This, that, the other thing. This happened. This happened. This happened. When I was a kid, this happened. This happened. And all of a sudden, we talk ourselves out of greatness. I say it all the time. I've got no time for pep talks, but I'm telling you that this stuff is the truth. And when you do away with these excuses and you're like, this is what I want, and I'm going to go after this thing. I want to be good at guitar. I want to be good at bowling, or I want to be good at baseball, or whatever it is. And you figure out those pieces, those steps that it takes for you to get to there. When you're obsessed with something, you're going to get better at it. So I agree with you. I think 30 minutes would be a minimum. But for those folks that don't believe, I say believe because they got a half hour, but they say that they falls with excuses and stuff, and they got 5 or 10 minutes. Okay, start somewhere, anywhere. Okay. Okay. Okay, so right. Okay. Yep, yeah. Jeff is saying you can use graphite from your pencil. You can do that too if you have a pencil. Yeah, 100%. Can you show a lick in A minor pentatonic using sliding? Yeah, I mean, you know, the idea with sliding is that sorry. I needed a shot of Red Panic's ginseng extract from China. Sorry. All right, so, you know, when talking about scales, you can play them with picking, or you can play them with hammer-ons and pull-offs. Or you can play them with slides, you know. So that's using some slides as our friend just asked to do, as Rehan just asked to do in A blues or A pentatonic. Elmo saying, can you please say some good beginner guitars? My friend, go to kit.com/YourGuitarSage. Go there. Link is on the screen right now. That is where I've got a few different suggestions. I should have some electrics up there as well as acoustics, but if you can get a used Epiphone Masterbuilt, that's my #1 guitar that I would suggest. Otherwise, go to that link and that will have some more detail for you, okay? I'm just beginning guitar and wondering what I should learn first. I've got basic chords down and I've been learning scales that I don't even need to read the rest. Devin, I'm telling you exactly what to learn. Here's the deal. The beginner section, okay, watch this. In fact, let's go to the website here. So in the beginner section, so this is what you're getting today. If you take advantage of this dollar deal, it's going away at the end of today. YourGuitarSage.com/365 is where the deal is at. If your fingers are too tired and you can't type it, you can click on the link that's inside the description of the YouTube video, okay? Now here's the deal. This is exactly what you want to do. And this is only for people with fingers, okay? Anybody else, don't listen to this. But anybody who has fingers, this would be you. This is where I want you to start. You're going to start, you get the dollar deal today. You have 30 days to get everything, to go through everything. I mean, I'm not saying to go through everything, but you can do anything you want in there. You've got nearly 1,000 videos. But if you're a beginner, obviously you want to start at the beginner section. The reason I'm giving you the whole enchilada is so that you can see, holy crap, he teaches this later on? Mind blown. Okay, I'm in, you know. I want you to be able to see all the things that you have the ability to learn. I've never known someone to start on step 5 if they haven't done 4, 3, 2, and 1. And if they're on step 5, they have a hard time with step 6. It's weird how that happens, but they understand how to do step 4. Strange, right? So everything is a step-by-step process. The reason that people jump around on YouTube and what have you is number one, they don't understand that you're going to learn so much quicker. It's going to be so much less frustration and so much better to learn things sequentially and with a method. And they don't know where to look. So here you go. I'm giving you everything for $1. And this is what you're going to do, my friends. You're going to go to the beginner module here, okay? Beginner, and this is the only thing that I suggest for folks to do inside the Unstoppable Guitar System, step by step. Now, honestly, it'd be cool if you did it all step by step, but what I'm saying is that I real specifically prescribe, okay? Say, just do this beginner section step by step. Don't vary from it, even if you know something, okay? So you go to the beginner section, you go to module 1. That's where you're going to start. There's 2 modules, and then there's some guitar maintenance. I thought that was important to put in the beginning because for folks that don't know that heat's going to destroy their guitar, or that they shouldn't throw the guitar in the pool, or whatever, the humidity might hurt it, that you've got that section there, okay? So here we are inside the program, and you're going to see, like, the very first things here, 30,000 foot view over 30,000 foot overview of guitar. This basically means this is the guitar. These are the kinds of things we're going to be learning. This is what to expect: frustration, fingers hurting, you know, these sorts of things. But it's to let you know that you can do this. Anybody can do this. And then it's choosing an electric guitar or acoustic, choosing an electric, the anatomy of the acoustic, just getting your way around the guitar, the anatomy of the electric, and so on and so forth. You can see definitions that we'll be using, proper posture, how to hold a pick. So it's all those things, like from the very baby beginner. You can't mess up. The only way that you can mess up is if you don't do it and you just say, I quit, I suck. Well, everybody thinks they suck in the beginning. FYI, everybody thinks their hands are too small. Everybody thinks that they're not cut out for the guitar at first. But the people that make it are just the people that are like, this is what I want to do. And if that's what you have, if you just have that drive that this is what I want to do, you're cut out for guitar, okay? We go into other bits and pieces and so on and so forth. So that's where you would go. Basic fretting, naming the notes on the fretboard, dexterity exercises, chord stamps, tuning with a tuner, basic chord technique, just the whole enchilada. That's what you want to be looking at, my friends. Okay, that's where you want to be starting. Beginner guitar, do it. Okay, if you start there, you're not going to have any issues. Okay, all right, let's go over to some more questions. Okay, great.
You want to show off the kit page?
The kit page? Yeah, that's a good idea. I'll do that. Thank you, Chris. Greg is saying, if I'm obsessed, how far can I get through the program in 30 days? Greg, that's a hard one to answer, my friend. But, you know, here's the deal. If you're, you know, are you doing this full time? Like, literally, I would need to know a lot of things to be able to answer that correctly. But I can tell you, you'd get, you know, if you just did one a day, you'd at least get through the beginner section. But chances are you're going to be able to get through a lot more than that, okay? Okay, real quick, because I'm getting so many questions about products today. This is what I want you to check out. This is my kit page, and what kit is basically, it's a place that you can go and you can learn about the products that I endorse. And what I mean by the products that I endorse is the ones that I think are cool, the ones that are awesome, and I tell you why they're awesome. So, for instance, you know, beginner guitars, you've got a few here. You would just literally go there and you could check out the different bits and pieces, okay? This is the guitar that I really like, the Epiphone Masterbuilt. This one's a little bit cheaper. The picks, some of the picks that I use, some of the capos that I use, strings. Now, I use a little bit of all. But this is the amp that I've used for years, a Blues Junior, a Strat. I mean, so anything in here I've specifically handpicked and said, yeah, this is great. This is what I would endorse. Buy this before you buy anything else. So check that out. It's kit.com/YourGuitarSage, and you're going to get a lot of great stuff out of that, okay? In fact, bookmark that because it's kind of important, okay? Especially if you have questions on gear, okay? Great, 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 great. All right, man, amazing questions today. You guys are playing full out. Thank you. Will you play a song so I can noodle over it? Jeff is saying. Jeff, okay, great. Glad you asked this question, Jeff. Today, For $1, you've got the Unstoppable Guitar System. You've got the 365 guitar plan, nearly 1,000 videos. Not only that, you're getting somewhere in the area of 600 jam tracks that are not available anyplace else. They are done in-house. It's nearly 600 or over 600, one of the two. We're very, if we're not over, we're really, really close, okay? I'm pretty sure we're over now. And what I've done is we've assembled these jam tracks in different genres, in different tempos, in different keys. So if it's a blues track, a slow blues track in the style of Led Zeppelin, you're going to have it in all 12 keys. So you're going to be able to listen to it. You're going to be able to use the Minimalistic Blues part of the program or the call and response part of the program, right? And you're going to understand that from that perspective. And then I even tell you in the program, okay, now head over to the jam track section and play those jam tracks and start noodling over the top of them. And you've got this full band. Most of these players are Nashville players. And so you're literally going to have access to these great tones, these great tracks, and you're going to be able to noodle over them all day long because you have access to them. So, so Jeff, yes, do that, okay? All right, great. Amit is saying, can you show how to do hammering properly? Amit, I'm not going to show you that today, and here's why. Because I show you that specifically in video 1 on Tuesdays. Okay, video 1 on Tuesday inside the 365 guitar plan. And I have a whole lesson for that. I mean, I'll show you right now the basic idea, but to drill down further, this is what you're going to do. Is you're going to go to that. It's $1 today. You watch video 1 on Tuesday, and I show you how to do that. But a hammer-on essentially is this. You pick a note, any note that's lower than the note you're going to hammer, which is going to be a higher note. So here's, in this case, 1. And I'm going to hammer my 3rd finger. Okay, I'll do that again. So I pick, and I hammer. Now, you might say to yourself, well, I'm having a hard time doing that. I don't understand. I wouldn't expect anything different because this is the first time you're doing this, right? So why would you have it? No one else got it first time. So welcome to the club, okay? What I'm saying is water is warm, come on in, it's good, I'm gonna get you there. Everybody starts off not knowing, but then you have someone show you how to do it. You do it one time by mistake, kind of, because you're trying, and then you're like, oh, I did it. Oh, that was a mistake. Because you tell yourself with limiting beliefs, oh, that was a mistake. I'm not gonna do that again. And then you do it again, and you start believing in yourself, and then you're like, I wonder if I could do this a 3rd time, and a 3rd time, and a 4th time, and then every time you do it, you're doing it right, okay? That's what those exercises are for, Amit. So I want you to get inside there. It's $1 today. It's going away. Then you'll be able to do it, okay? All right. Okay, that one's not to me. That was to somebody else. Okay. Okay. What's the simplest song I know? I mean, there's lots of songs. I mean, there's you know, coconut. Put the lime in the coconut. I have a few songs that I teach on YouTube that are 1 chord, so it would probably be one of those. You know. Are these courses different than the Udemy Complete Guitar System, which I'm using and love? Diver, thank you so much for saying that. Diver, if you love that, fantastic. I love it, okay? I love it too. For those that don't know what we're talking about, I'll be real short. Udemy, the Complete Guitar System is a guitar course that we have on a whole nother website that's not ours. It's called udemy.com. It's basically like paid YouTube. Why would you pay, Eric? Because their courses step by step, and they're amazing, and you can do all different types of courses. Anyhow, I have a course that I sell on there. It's the #1 guitar lessons course on Udemy, and that's huge because they're like YouTube. I mean, it's a big system. Nonetheless, I've got lots of videos on there and a step-by-step course. With that being said, the Unstoppable Guitar System is definitely a lot more. There's a lot more to it. Live broadcasts, constantly updating it with new videos. There's jam tracks inside UGS, none inside of the Complete Guitar System. A lot more videos inside the Unstoppable Guitar System. so on and so forth. And today you're getting 365 as well. What I would suggest you do it is get in there today, check it out. This way you've got a really low risk factor. It's $1. And check it out for a few weeks. If you don't like it, then just email us and say, I want out. There's no questions to ask. We wouldn't have the time to ask, well, why don't you like it? I mean, other than we want to make sure that you're happy, but we're not going to bother you with why don't you like it? It's just, if you don't like it, then get on out. You know what I mean? We don't want to. We're not in the business of forcing people to play guitar. Okay, we want to make it available to you. Okay. But thank you for asking. That's a great question. Do you recommend using the pinky for playing power chords versus barring with your third finger? Oh, that's a great question. So David's saying, can you play your power chords like this as opposed to like this? I like to use my pinky. I used to bar, but now I like to use my pinky. It's just personal preference. I just prefer doing that now. All right, great question. Look, Saint Lefty has been in the program a week already and noticing improvements. Thank you for all you do. So nice. And I say this in the program too. It's like, here's the deal. If you go to the gym and you lift a weight that's really super easy to do, not a big deal. Guess what? You lifted a weight. But if you lift a weight that's very difficult, maybe not very difficult to do, but difficult to do. So you do it and you're like, ugh, and you're stressing and you're like, oh, this isn't fun. Well, guess what? All during that time of you thinking it's not fun, you're growing. Because we don't grow as beings, as living beings. This is true for all biology. You don't grow unless you're being challenged, okay? You don't grow mentally, you don't grow physically, you don't grow as a guitar player unless you're being challenged. And this course will challenge you. People are like, oh, it's hard. That's the point. But it's not so hard that it's gonna frustrate you, okay? It's hard enough to where it's going to push you. It's going to challenge you so that you can become better. That's why you're here, right? Why are you wasting all this time with me, right? Unless you want to be better. Of course you want to be better. So, thank you, Lefty. Mark as well. Mark's in the program. Nice. Thank you so much for the testimonials, my friend. Beautiful. I love it. Oh, Celeste joined. Nice. So, folks, I'm telling you, it's not... we literally have thousands of folks that got into this program already, and the response is bonkers. They are loving it, and so again, I don't know what else I could do other than just make it available to you, but it's killer. And at least just get in there and look around and go, this isn't for me. This is way too much information. But here's the deal. I provide lots of information because I like to over-deliver. I like to give you more than what you're expecting. But here's the great thing. You only have to do one video at a time. That's the problem with today's world, is we're constantly looking towards the future, which is great. You got to look towards the future. But guess what? We're never in the future. We're always in right now. And you can only affect right now. Forget about this. Forget about this. You got right now. What's today's exercise? Do that exercise. When you do that sort of practice on anything, working out, diet, guitar, whatever, you just do what is required of you today and you do it well. That stacked up days become weeks, become months, become years. Now all of a sudden you start getting the physique you want, or you start becoming the guitar player you want, or you start becoming the business person you want, because you're stacking up ideas and you're doing it consistently every day. And instead of always looking towards the future going, well, one day I'll do that. It's over there. It's like, bump that today. It's about today. What is the first and easiest Van Halen song a beginner could learn to gain confidence? Jim is saying. Jim, I would say it's Ain't Talking About Love, right? There's a few songs that Eddie does on that first album, and Ain't Talking About Love, and these are two of my favorite. In fact, I just did videos for both of these. I did them, number one, because they're some of my favorite songs, and they're some of the easiest songs. So it's great for those that really want to get into some Van Halen. So Ain't Talking About Love, Running with the Devil, those two are recent ones that I put up on my channel, and they're note for note. I poured a lot of hours into them, days and weeks, to get them exactly the way Eddie did them. Got the isolated tracks, worked really, really hard on them. So they're exactly what Eddie plays, and and they're not that difficult. Okay, so check that out. What I mean is they're not that difficult in the scheme of Eddie songs. Okay, that's where to start, Jim, and they're great. T Memphis, Eric, love your way, man. Thank you, T Memphis. UGS has been so instrumental in helping me along the way. You make it fun and so relatable on a video. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, T Memphis, for saying that. I really appreciate that. I truly appreciate that. Thank you for letting me know. Della, where's the PDF located for the Unstoppable lessons? Della, we did away with the PDF, and here's why. Now we've got the whole complete system. So when you're done with a video, you just hit complete. That, along with the search functionality and our hierarchy for doing things, it's like impossible to not find what you're looking for. And with the PDF, what we found is that, number one, we were updating it constantly, and it was this like just giant list. So it was like, you look at it and you just get a headache. I mean, there's like 600 videos on there almost, right? So you're looking at this going, dear Lord in heaven. So that's why we did away with it. It was antiquated, in my opinion. And this was a much better way, much quicker, much more 2018 way to do things. You got the search functionality in the left-hand corner. You say chords, bam. National number system, bam, here it comes. Blues, minimalistic blues, bam. And the way we categorized everything. So that's why I did away with that, is because to me, it was just antiquated and it distracted from a better way to do it. Is the $1 deal for only a limited time? Marcus, the $1 deal ends today. It's literally going away, okay? We may do it another time, but like I say, we've never done this deal ever. 365 just came out. We haven't done the $1 for even UGS in years now. So that shows you how infrequently we do this. So yes, it is limited time. It's going away today. It's been open since Saturday, okay? So if you're thinking about doing it, if you're even on the fence about doing it, you're gonna be that guy or that girl that tomorrow you're like, daggone it, how much cheaper did the guy need to make it before I got in the friggin' program? It was $1, and I wasted that opportunity. So if you wanna get in there, if you're even on the fence about it, do it. And it's less than a bottle of friggin' water, right? So get in there. Do it. Okay. Are the same lessons on Unstoppable and 365? No, DJ. Two totally different separate animals, okay? Totally different. And the way to find that out is to get in there and check it out. But you're going to see, you know? All right. If you're in doubt, spend the buck. Nothing to lose, Ken said. Thank you. Yes. Hope you and your wife had a great 4th of July. I believe the Unstoppable guitar that you gave me covers everything in it. Thank you for helping a disabled veteran. You're so welcome, Jeff. Thank you for the kind words, and thank you for your service, and happy 4th, my friend. Do you use a tuner or do you tune by ear? Lucas, it depends. I'll use a tuner before recording, before doing a live broadcast, before doing all that stuff, because I'm working with jam tracks or other, songs that have been recorded that use the tuner, which is like all of them. Then, except for some Rolling Stone stuff, then I want to make sure that I'm in tune, so I'm going to use a tuner. With that being said, there are times where I'll know one string's out of tune, and I'll just tune it by ear according to the rest of the guitar. That's why I have videos on that, because I think both are important to know, for sure. Rod's saying Van Halen, right now. That's right. Right now. What are you waiting for? Indeed. What if you don't become proficient at the daily lesson? Should you move on or stay with it? DJ, it is physically impossible. If you practice these and you do not get proficient, you need to call a scientist and have them study you, because you will be unlike any being, and not just humans, any being. You can't teach a rat and them not learn, okay? So it's impossible for you to do this program and not become proficient. The only way for you to not do that is to quit, okay? The brain, if you have a brain, now I don't know about single-celled organisms, but if you're a cat, if you're a monkey, if you're a human, if you're an elephant or a dog or dolphin or any of the other ones that aren't single cell, if you have a brain and you're being challenged and you're working through that challenge, it's impossible for your brain not to grow. It's impossible for your skills not to grow. Never in my life ever heard of this, okay? So you're going to improve for sure. But should you move on to the next day? Yes, move on with the next day. The whole point of this system is to just keep moving on, because one can obsess over something, and the whole point of this is work on it. You've got a whole week to come back to it. If you want to keep noodling on it the following day, you can, but definitely priority one is what is today's lesson, work on that. And then Thursday, what is Thursday's lesson for this week? Work on that. So it's not only is it programmed to help you get better, but it's also programmed to help you to go, this is now. This is what I'm looking at today. Thursday, this is what I'm doing now. This is what I'm looking at today. Those of you who understand my philosophy and the way I talk like this, sometimes I seem to get off on a tangent, but some of you are like, dude is speaking gospel. He knows what he's talking about, because this is just truth. And once you crack this egg open and you start seeing what I'm talking about right now in the moment, and being able to access today and right now and at this moment in whatever it is that you're doing, I don't care what it is magical. If you keep looking behind you and forward, you can't do anything back here and you can't do anything up here. The future is always before you. The future will eventually get to you, but you can't affect it now. It's always in the future. There's only right now. So you're going to practice today's lesson, DJ, and only today's lesson, even if you sucked on yesterday's lesson, okay? Because your skills will be building. All of this builds. Even though you're looking at a different focus, you will be getting better specifically at that exercise, but overall you're going to be getting better. You're working on your dexterity all the time. So you're going to be getting better. The next week you come back to it, it's going to be better. All of it is, okay? So, yeah, don't obsess over it, though, okay? Killer questions, man. You guys are on today. I'm trying to decide if I should get a Tele, Fender, or a PRS. Which should I get, Marcus is saying. I'd say a Tele. It's just more of a classic guitar. You can use it in so many different situations. You can use it for punk, rock, blues, jazz, country. I mean, it's just a great instrument for all. I just personally am not as much of a Tele guy. I've owned several Teles, but Teles, as Mark is saying here, are very versatile, and the PRS is great. That's fine, but it also depends on what you're buying of both. Those are just brand names, right? So you could buy. It's like saying, should I get a Toyota or a Honda? It's like, depends, you know, which ones are you buying? So there's that too, you know. Did I go to Sweetwater's Gear Fest? I did not, Luke. I'd like to, though. I love Sweetwater. They're cool. Okay. I have struggled. I guess it's saying I've struggled for a year, Eric. Thank you for your videos on YouTube and UGS. I can only do 30 days, but I appreciate it. Thanks. Bobby, that is no problem. Listen, anybody out there who's like feeling guilty, like, you know, I can only do 30 days and then I got to get out, you're not going to make me feel bad. Look, there's a reason that I give guitars away, that I have like over 1,000 lessons on YouTube, that I give away, at this point now, give away over $100,000 worth of courses to charities and stuff like that. That's why I give the free course away, YourGuitarSage.com/30. There's a reason, is that I found there is a true magic in giving, okay? Now, obviously, I can't give everything away. Otherwise, I can't pay my own bills and pay for my kid and my wife and these sorts of things. And I couldn't put on these programs. I couldn't pay Chris, my right-hand man, in there to do what he's doing. I couldn't buy these TVs and everything else that I'm doing to get this out there, right? You got to have things to do things. So there's that. But if you're feeling bad about that, don't feel bad about that. Get in there, take advantage of this offer. Even if you know ahead of time you're going to get out in 28 days, take advantage of it. I want you to see it. I want you to take advantage of it. So do it. Don't feel bad. Spend the buck, get in there, have fun, and get the heck out if you need to, okay? No problems. Seriously, from my heart, I'm telling you. All right? All right. Just signed up for 30 days, Greg is saying. I don't trust the man, Eric, so I'm counting on you to not be the man. Okay, I'm with you, Greg. I do not like the man either. And you know what I mean by that? I just mean the man can be the woman. It could just be someone who you don't trust, okay? So, or, you know, someone who you got to question a lot and they're shifty. That's what I mean by the man. We know who the man is, but definitely not the man. In that way. Think of buying a Martin D28 thinking it's easier to fret. Possibly. That's a great guitar. An expensive guitar, but yes, that's an expensive one. Okay. I don't have it, but what if you tried to learn guitar and you have short-term or long-term memory loss? Dark, I don't know about that. I imagine that there's some medical bits that are legit about that, and one might forget. But since that's not you, I wouldn't worry about it so much. But my guess would be if you have short-term, long-term memory loss, that you're going to forget some stuff. But I can tell you this, that science has proven over and 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 over again, because I study this stuff all the time. I watch videos on YouTube. I read articles. That there is something called brain neuroelasticity, and it means your brain is essentially able to grow, just like at the gym. They used to think that this was only for young folks, and what I mean is young is maybe like till like 25, when the brain stops growing at about 25, 26, 27-ish area. That's why there's so much great music during that time, is because there's certain parts of the brain that are not turned on yet. No offense to those that are that age, because I was that age myself one time. But that's why so much great music and so much creativity comes out of those ages, because there's certain things that aren't turned on that are telling him, you can't do this, son. And they just do it. So that's cool. But what was I saying? Brain elasticity. So what they've proven, I go off on these tangents sometimes. What they've proven is that this neuroelasticity grows by just the kind of stuff I'm talking about right now, by trying your brain. This is why you see these apps on your phone, right, for brain games and stuff like that. Forget that stuff. I used to do that stuff, and I was like, why am I doing this? The guitar is training my brain constantly, right? So doing that sort of thing does grow neurons. It grows blood vessels to certain parts of your brain. There's an area of the brain called, I think it's area 39, if I'm getting this right. I think it's called area 39, and it is your creativity. Einstein, this area of his brain was very active when the story goes, and I've heard this several times now, that when they dissected his brain, they didn't find that area to be necessarily bigger, but what they found is that the blood vessels going to that area of his brain were like 100 times more dense than your average brain. So what does that tell you? Well, that tells me that either the guy was born that way, which I don't think he was born that way. He probably had a preponderance for being a question answer and that sort of a question asker and that sort of thing. But he worked his brain so much, he was constantly thinking. What happens when we use something? It gets bigger. So if we work out the right arm all day long, you literally could have this giant arm and the left arm won't get any bigger because you're using the right arm and your brain is saying, we need more blood to go here. We need more blood vessels. We need more tissue. So when you do this to your brain, you're going to grow. And doing these exercises, just like any brain exercises, they've proven through neuroelasticity pushes off Alzheimer's and a myriad of other issues that are brain related. It helps do that, okay? It's obviously not a guarantee. You can be a guitar player and you're not going to get Alzheimer's, but the science shows that it helps with those sorts of issues, okay? There you go. But Eric said if I play guitar, then no. Please. What age did I start learning guitar? I started learning guitar at the age of 14. You know, it's like, it's so funny too, because like I'll have folks that start in their teens, I have folks that start in their 20s, folks that start in their 30s, 40s, 50s, up to 80s. I have folks in the program that are in their 80s, which I flippin' love in 70s and 80s, a lot of folks actually. And those folks don't ask it as much. In fact, they don't. I've seen people in their 50s ask it. A lot of people in their 20s ask, is it too late to start guitar? Isn't that weird? So a lot of folks in their 20s asking, is it too late to start guitar? A few people, like in their 50s and stuff, will ask. People in their 60s, 70s, and 80s, they're just like, give me that guitar. I want to learn it. You know? Because they're just like, are you joking? Like, I've lived life. Like, I can do anything I want to do if I set my mind to it. But something happens when we're younger and we think, I wish I was 14. When I remember when I started guitar, I was 14, then I got to be like 16, was playing more, and you know what the record playing in my head was over and over again? God, I wish I had started earlier. God, I wish I had started at 7 years old. Wish I had started at 5. I'd be so good. And I used to say that all the time, so I get it. I understand the mentalities because you're like, I love this so much. I'm so good at this. Or not so good at this. I want to be so good at this. I wish I had started earlier. So there's that yearning. I get it. But guess what? I've seen a bunch of players start at an early age, and they're amazing at those ages. And then I've seen people start later in life. And there's something that evens out in life. And especially being in Nashville, I see this all the time with singers, guitar players, etc., is that these moms will come in, they're so proud of their kid who can play this, that, or the other thing. I get it. It's your kid. You're number one. They're the best kid in the world because they're your kid. And then they're doing these exceptional things, and you think they're a genius. I do this with my kid all the time. But bottom line, something happens as you get older is that things start evening out. So even the kids that started later, that were not the prodigies that this kid is, everybody starts sounding pretty good if they're practicing. So things start evening out. So don't worry about when it is that you're starting. You're starting today, so that's the earliest that you can start is today. You can't go back in the future. You can't go back in the past. You can't go in the future. The earliest that you can start playing guitar is today, okay? Do you get that? It's today. It's not yesterday because you can't get there anymore. It's today. All right. Yeah, progressive learning, indeed. All right, man. Am I skipping? I just had a big jump here in the question. Sorry. Yeah, I think you were replying to somebody else, Della. Yeah, it's not related to age. It has nothing to do with that. Should I push through and get comfortable? Rocco is saying. Rocco, push through. You know, get comfortable? No, don't ever get comfortable. Because when you get comfortable, that means you're not growing. So you always want to push outside of your comfort zone. That's how you're going to grow. Okay, so you definitely don't want to get comfortable. Anybody who's comfortable in their guitar playing is not growing. So if that's you, if you're comfortable, there's no place where you end up on guitar. It's not like you go, oh, I'm going to practice, I'm practicing, I'm here, everybody. You got to keep going because I don't know if any artist or anybody at anything who excels or gets better at something where they're like, okay, I've arrived. And if so, it's typically something kind of, I mean, it's one thing to be satisfied with something. Like if you're just like, I just want to play campfire guitar, and that's okay. But what I mean by that is even those people still want to learn more songs. You still would like to be better, even if it's just a wish to be better. So, you know, when you're getting comfortable, that means you're not growing. Okay, does that make sense? Sterling, is there a monthly cost after the $1 fee? Yes, of course there is. Sterling, click on the link and you'll see everything. I can't go into all the details right now, but yes, of course, there is a fee after that. Okay. Good questions. If you buy the lifetime membership, that's it. Not a penny for the rest of your life. Exactly. It's a lifetime membership. So we've had folks in here. We started so a lot of folks are probably saying, well, what happens if you're not here in a year? Well, I can tell you that I've been teaching now since I was about 16 years old. I just turned 49. So I've been teaching this long. A lot of people know me in Nashville. I mean, artists come see me, producers come see me, writers come see me, and they have for decades now. I can also tell you, I'm not bragging, these are just facts, and there's people that have done better than me. So how could I brag if there's people that are better than me? I've been teaching, I've taught thousands of one-on-one lessons. I've done thousands of videos. We've done, the Unstoppable Guitar System's been up since 2012, so we're going on 7 years here now, in the 7th year. Written books, been in the Wall Street Journal. There's a lot. I've been around for a long time, and I have no intentions on going anywhere. What would I do? What am I going to do? I love doing this. It's fun, and I have the best students in the world, so I ain't going anywhere, you know. But yes, that's lifetime membership, so it's just around. It's just here. So as long as we have electricity, as long as the grid is on, the Unstoppable Guitar System is going to keep going. Otherwise, that would be a goofy name, wouldn't it? Unstoppable. And then it's like, yeah, I remember that used to be around. Nah. Okay, great. Look, Ken, 72, started a year ago. I love that. Thank you so much, Ken. Ken is 72 and started a year ago. Look, 72 is like the new 42, okay? Seriously. Like, our life keeps getting extended. In fact, I went to a conference the other day. I know you guys aren't going to believe this because this is like major cutting edge stuff. But there's a guy talking there named Peter Diamandis, and he's a futurist. A futurist is someone who studies the future, studies the past, and is able to see trends and where we're going and this, that, and the other thing. And he said that if you can, Kurzweil, the guy that invented the Kurzweil piano and MIDI, and he's an absolute genius and a futurist himself. And he said that if you can live another 10 years, that in 10 years from now, we will literally, for every year that you live, be able to double your lifespan, or double 2 years. So every year, double it. So basically, it's going to get weird. We're going to be able to like live for as long as we desire, I guess, at some point. But anyhow, all that being said, you know, it's like 72 is young anymore. It just is. So, and I love the attitude. Thank you, Ken, for saying that. That's awesome. What's your opinion about being inspired to write? How good do you need to be? Lucas is saying. Lucas, you don't have to be good at all to write. You write. You take your pen, you put it on the paper. I'm not joking. This is not, I'm not making fun here. You take your pen, you put it on the paper, and you write. And whatever you write is what you write. Now, hang with me here for a second, okay? If I go to play guitar, and I haven't played guitar before, and I can't play guitar, why would I expect myself to play guitar? So you do what it is that you want to do. You fake it till you make it. You practice, okay? If you want to write, you write. The more you write, the better you'll become. I read a great book, I think it was called The Artist's Way, and it says, write for the trash can. Meaning, if you write away, you put a trash can right next to you, and you're like, that's the goal right there. It's going to end up right there. Now you don't have all this pressure on you that you need to write a hit song or you need to write something that's going to change the world. You just write. Because the first things that come out of you are not going to be the things that change the world, typically. You got to get all the bull crap out first, all the baby stuff out first. Then here comes the deep stuff. It's in layers, okay? Same thing with guitar playing. You're not going to come out with Van Halen riffs the first day. It's going to take time to go through everything. And eventually you end up in this magical place. It's just true. But not without going through those layers. So when you write, Lucas. Just start writing. And then start studying, just like you would guitar. Start studying writers. Get on YouTube. Take a Udemy course. Like study writing. Read books. And then you're going to learn, oh, yeah, that would make me a better writer. That would make me a better guitar player. But that's what to do. Same thing. If you wait till you're good at something to start it, you're going to die having never done it, okay? You got to start doing what it is that you want to do today. And, of course, you're going to suck because you've never done it before, okay? So there you go, all right? Rahan is saying, can you show a lick which uses the Boogie Woogie Blues? Rahan, I won't because I have a whole section on the Boogie Woogie Blues inside of the Unstoppable Guitar System. And you're getting that for $1 today. So instead of me showing you one little tidbit of the Boogie Woogie Blues, which by the way, folks, is this. Ah, Rahan, you tricked me. That's the Boogie Woogie, you know? And then... that sort of thing. But I have a whole section on Boogie Woogie Blues and Boogie Woogie turnarounds and this, that, and the other thing inside of the blues section. Yes, there's a blues section inside the Unstoppable Guitar System, the one that you're getting for $1. today. Link is in the description of the video. Or go to YourGuitarSage.com/365, okay? That's where that's at. So you have all that, Rahan, okay, available to your, at your fingertips, you know? You guys are hilarious. Some of these comments are amazing. Mark is naming his band Campfire Masters. Exactly. Hey Eric, have you ever heard of the Trailer Park Boys? I have. I've been watching all their movies and Netflix and podcasts and YouTube. I've heard about them. Hey, if you're not sure about this system, spend $1 and take a look under the hood. If you don't have a buck, look at the 30. It's part of the Unstoppable. Yes, indeed. Thank you so much, David, for letting folks know that. I appreciate it. I do. I live in. Robert's asking, do I live in Nash Vegas? So do I. Sweet, Robert. Yes, I live. I actually live in Franklin. I do not know David Shelby, Rod. I do not know him. All right. Della's saying, don't be scared, try it in fun. That's so true. When playing triplets, Yosus87 is saying, when playing triplets, should I play with down, up, down, or down, up? Should I play with down, up, down, picking pattern, or down, up, pattern? Great question. That's a great question, because now what he's asking is this: a triplet is a little bit odd for those that don't know what that is. So we typically have like quarter notes or eighth notes. These are eighth notes, right? So we have quarter notes, which is every beat. Then we have eighth notes. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, okay? And triplets are saying when we're putting 3 in that same space. So it's like triplet, 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 triplet. Okay? And what happens is the accent is sometimes on the downbeat, sometimes on the upbeat. So da, 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 up, down, up, down. Okay? And the question is, should I go down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down? And here's the answer. You can do either. It depends on the sound that you're going for. So for instance, if I wanted to have that sound like, and I'll do that sometimes, you know. That's what I'm doing there. I'm going down, up, down, up. Or I could go, and it has a different sound to it, right? If we want those accents, those more pronounced accents, then you would go down, up, down, up, down. But sometimes you don't have the time to do that. If it's too fast, you know, if the tempo got fast enough, you'd have to kind of get your hand up there quicker because you're doing 2 downs in a row. The whole point of down, up is that you're where you're at, and then you just come up. So that's down, up, right? That's alternate. Or, so you can do either. I'd say I'd probably do the down, up, just that strict one most of the time. Great question. Super question. When learning a song, is it better to learn it with or without the track? Celeste is saying. I don't know what you mean by that, Celeste. I don't know what you mean by that. You'll probably have to drill down a little bit more. But when you're playing with a track, if the track is a good track, then you're keeping in time and you're keeping in key, and you've got something to kind of keep you together there. But it also is a little bit of a crutch, right? So if you don't have it, you may not remember the part. So it's just kind of give and take. But it's not bad to use the track at all. I do it all the time. I love tracks, you know. Love it. That's a great question, though. Robert's saying, funny, I just turned 60 and I tell my friends I'm warding off senility by learning the guitar. Robert, it's absolutely true. It's absolutely true. It's like anything. Our muscles atrophy when we don't use them. Our brain does something similar when we don't use it. use it or lose it is an old expression, and it's 100% true. If you're using something, the universe says, that guy is using that, that girl's using that. Give them power, help them there, okay? It's brain cells, I mean, everything. I mean, biology is replete in this, they know it. Biology knows it. We need to know it, okay? When you practice something, you get better at it. When you're using your brain cells, you get more of them, you get more blood vessels, you get everything that you need, more nourishment. Literally, your body will give more nourishment to your brain when you're using it more, okay? You're using muscles, your body will send more nutrients to that muscle because you're using it. If I'm doing this all day long, I'm literally going to get more B12 or whatever my muscles need, more protein and everything, than this muscle if I don't use it. Wow. Isn't that cool? It's true. It's just true. All right. It don't mean a thing if you ain't got that swing. Speaking of swing, Team Memphis, so inside the Unstoppable Guitar System, which you're getting for $1 today, friends, which is in the, you know where it's at, right? It's in the description of the video. Then you're getting the whole swing section as well. You know what I'm saying? An entire section on swing, okay? All right, how you guys doing? All right, I think we're going to end it here, my friends. We haven't done a broadcast this long on Thursdays in a very long time, but we're gonna head out, friends. If you're on the fence, you're gonna be kicking yourself tomorrow, and it's not like we can open it up again for like 10 people. We can't do that. That doesn't make any sense. So if you're thinking about doing this, get in there. It's $1 today. I'll reiterate it because I know by the questions here, there's a ton of people that aren't hearing what I'm saying, or maybe they're just joining us or whatever. Today, it's ending today. It was open on Saturday. You get the entire Unstoppable Guitar System, unlimited access, 600-ish videos, 600-ish jam tracks, unlimited access for 30 days, and unlimited access to the 365 guitar plan for 30 days, unlimited access to both for, guess how much? $1. There's no contracts, there's no sign-ups. It's literally, if you want to get out, this is the only thing that you have to know, is if you get in there and you're like, are you crazy? I'm learning way too much guitar. I'm having too much fun, too much content. Screw you, Eric. Then you can get out within 30 days. Just let us know. Just email us at the support at YourGuitarSage.com. We will take you out of there. No questions asked. You won't be charged anything else. Otherwise, you can be in the program. You can sign up for a lifetime membership. You can do monthly, whatever you want to do. Okay? So that is there. It's available for you. If you want to know where to go to get that, go to the link in the description of the video. It looks something like this: YourGuitarSage.com/365. Okay? That's where you want to go. Click on that link. You literally will get you in there for $1. You're going to have some options to do some different things. Okay, so if you want to just do the $1, you've got options for that. If you want to get other specials that we have, we're going to give you options for that. Okay, I don't know what else to tell you other than if you're serious about learning guitar, which you just, I don't know about, some of you might have just joined, but for some of you, you just spent 2 hours with me, and the amount of content that I gave you is great. You know, it's very helpful, but it's nothing like that course. Okay, because it's step by step. You've got all the support. You've got the comment section. You've got the live broadcasts that we're doing twice a month. You've got a community that's in there, the Facebook page, which we're going to be introducing you to shortly here, if we haven't already, any day here now. So you're going to have access to all this stuff, the PDFs, the guitar profiles, the jam tracks, the being able to complete the video, so you can just like literally check it off. You click a button, it'll show up in the list that you've done it, so you're not like guessing. You'll have, with 365, you'll literally have 7 focus areas that you're going to be looking at. 1 day per week. Different focus area for each day of the week. Hammer-ons, pull-offs, alternate picking, economy picking, finger picking, scales and modes, etc., etc. Okay, so you've got that, and then what I do is I slowly increase the heat over 52 weeks. Okay, now here's the deal. Don't get overwhelmed by that, because guess what? The only thing you need to focus about is today. Okay, you don't have to focus about 52 weeks or 365 days or 7 focuses. There's today. And I want you to get this mentality, friends, more than anything else that I've talked about today. Get this mentality. It will save your life. It will make you productive in everything that you do, and it will make you much happier, because we can only live in this very moment. We can't live in the past. We can't live in the future. The more you live in those places, the more unhappy you will be. It's about this moment, okay? Apply this to guitar or anything else that you do, and you're going to see insane progress. But you got to do that. That's the sacrifice, if you will, is ignoring these other two things, the future and the past, and focusing on this very moment. Okay? You're not going to be overwhelmed with this program, I promise you. And guess what? If for some reason you don't listen to me and you're still overwhelmed, then you're out a buck and you've had access to the greatest guitar program ever created. Okay? You've got like 1,000 videos to choose from. All right. Thank you so much for all the super kind words and all the love. You guys played full out today. You've had great comments, and I can tell that you guys are tuned in to what I'm talking about here. So love you guys. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, you know where to find me, social, Facebook, Twitter, all those different places. But do it right now. I'm going, and this is ending tonight, okay, the deal. So click on the link, do your thing, hit me up when you're inside the program, and I'll see you hopefully next week. All right, yeah, I think so.